technical glitch. I don't know what went wrong, but I was told I was just stuck at some point. I'm going to just run through a brief of what I was saying. This is week 9 of the 100 Women of Coloring Jobs Challenge for 90 days. So we are going deep into the journey now. We have just about 3 weeks to go. And today's session is all about, we're talking about the dreaded no. We're talking about when you're being silenced, and we're talking about rejection and what to do and how to handle this. I'll try to slow down now and talk. I just felt like, oh my god, I lost a lot of time there. All fine. So because even when you're doing all these things right, there are things that does not look like is okay. For instance, like I mentioned earlier, the job might be pretty aligned and you feel like I'm the best person for this. You might as well also have the best cover letter there is to be, and also your CV might be well curated, especially if you're on this challenge with us. If you've not seen the other videos, go and see the other videos. We really worked on our CVs. It doesn't mean that all this can be right and then your dreaded no would never happen. It could still happen. So sometimes the inbox stays silent. You keep refreshing, keep thinking something is going to come up, and there is absolutely nothing coming up in your inbox. Unfortunately, another thing is that you might get ghosted. You might really just get ghosted, like silence. Like that. And I know it's not funny, but you know those kind of things you talk about and you laugh about because you can't beat or insult the recruiter, or sometimes the door just doesn't open, and yeah, that's also fine. Juices may move. And so when this happens, it's so easy to like internalize it. And I was trying to say that a lot of times when you look at people that internalize a lot, we could also find emotional people. There are men that are quite emotional as well, but as an emotional person, direct your emotions to be positive at all times. Your emotions should be more of a pointer to what you want, not necessarily to help you make all the decisions. Sometimes your emotional decisions are really good, but just make sure you have your logic also balancing that out. So what I'm telling you today is, do not internalize rejection. I think earlier I mentioned that rejection does not define you, irrespective of what's going on. You are not rejection. Rejection is not you. You're not precious is precious. Rejection is not precious, right? So make sure that you understand that for certain. Also, why does this week matter? This particular week, week 9, where many women start to doubt themselves. Like, you've been on this journey for about 2 months and some things are not clicking. You're like, what am I doing wrong? What? First of all, it could be the job market. It could be that the job market is just a little bit slow. And one thing we know for certain is that in September, the job market also picks up really good before, the entire close up of the year. So yeah, something good is coming your way. But also, this week we'll rebuild our mindset, we'll reset our momentum, and then would rewrite the narrative, because this is what's true. The silence does not mean that you are not the best. It doesn't mean that you're not enough. It doesn't mean anything, honestly. Don't let the silence get to you. Another thing that you should also not let get to you is ghosting. Just because you're ghosted, like I said earlier, again, it's this is the problem of the recruiter, because I don't think any recruitment agency or even recruiter within companies should ghost anyone, because these are real human beings on the other end. But let's just assume you got ghosted. Can you please not think that that means you're not valuable? Oh, they found someone more valuable. Not really. Sometimes okay, let me shock you. There could be times where internally someone referred someone, and so it doesn't reflect on who you are. It just means that situation did not align, and that's also fine. What if the recruiter got fired? What if they left their role and then something, just a mishap? So don't take it personally. Don't think this means that you're not good enough. The last one is, every no does not mean never. Just because you got a no now does not mean one day you won't get a yes. I know that sounds very motivational-ish, kind of, but I'm going to be telling you what to do next when you get all of this news. So just stay with me. So understand that sometimes the jobs were not aligned with you. It's not just your job. Sometimes the timing doesn't just align, and there are times that the recruiter just never even opened your file. So it's not about you, it's not about your CV, it's not about your cover letter. They just didn't get to you. They probably had a lot of, applicants that already made their first impression, and before getting to your number, they moved on. So it's not your fault. None of these statements around, it doesn't define your worth. I hope I've been able to communicate that. Don't let any of those statements of, oh, it's just not you, it's not your fault, it's not your worth. Anyways, I'm going to pause there, and let's talk about how do you then rewrite this rejection narrative. How do you work around it? What do you do? So this week I want you to like pick one rejection, one ghosted email, or one moment of silence. And instead of burying it, you know how we sometimes bury things in the back of your mind that never happened. It happened. Okay. I want you to own it. I want you to reclaim it. I want you to ask yourself some very technical and serious questions. If you're part of the people that don't like to sit with themselves, this challenge might be tough for you, because I need you to sit down, reflect, ignore the noise, no social media, just you and what is in front of you. So ask yourself, what exactly was this opportunity? What was the title of the role? What was it supposed to get me? And then move on to say, what did I learn about myself through that process? So now in this part, I'm hoping and trusting that you probably have gone through the interview. Has it taught you to trust yourself more? Has it taught you to just refrain from opportunities that you think are not exactly fitted for you, and then you just desperately just applied? Let us be true to ourselves. So how will you then show up stronger next time? So how do you intend that next time this does not happen again? How will you show up stronger next time? If something does not align with your valuables, will you avoid applying for it so that it doesn't come back to bite you? Or do you need to like grow a thick skin? So I'm talking about example of, okay, so maybe I got ghosted after a second interview, and this is not cool at all. You've done the first, this is the second. People get ghosted at any stage of the interview, but let's just say you got ghosted after the second interview for a dream role, and you then feel invisible. But then when you reflect, you're going to realize that probably you didn't prepare with enough examples, and those examples were meant to like show your leadership, and now it's not showing exactly that. And then now you've learned from it, and now you've created a lot and or a bank of star stories, meaning STAR. At this point you definitely know what star stories are. If you haven't, watch the rest of the video, go and binge watch it so that you know. And now you're ready for the next opportunity. You have the stories like, you want this, I'll give you this. You want this, I'll give you that. So learn to understand that this is not a loss. You've learned, you've also leveled up, and you're still very much in the game. Can I get a thumbs up? Yeah. So how then do you bounce back without losing that fire, without losing that momentum, without losing that desire, without losing, that vibe of something good is coming, without losing faith, right? Without thinking this is how it's gonna be. I just need to give up. I need to find any other thing. No, don't lose faith yet. We still have about 3 weeks for the miracles to happen. So let's go deeper than we did before. How do you stay emotionally strong when rejection eats? It's not just about journaling or positive quotes. I know what I'm talking about. It's about building a confidence pipeline. That's what I've titled it when I thought about this, this live. So this is a system. What is a confidence pipeline? I'm talking about a system that keeps you grounded, um, a system that keeps you grounded, that keeps you focused and moving forward, even when one door has just been shut at your face or shut at you. When one opportunity closes, you're still moving forward. So that is the confidence pipeline. So this confidence pipeline is literally how pros. I don't know, there are people that are job pros, they know how to get the next opportunities. These are the people I'm calling pros, are able to edge their bets. Here is a mistake that many people make. I had made it in the past and I said never again. So you apply to one dream role, right? Then you wait. You're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting. If this was not like this is the right time for me to put a meme or something of you just you're waiting, you're open, you're refreshing your email every day after respond. You get ghosted and then you crash. Come on. That's not how to go about it. I've done it before, don't get me wrong, but it's not a good place to be. So what do the pros usually do? They edge their bets, like I said earlier. They stay in motion. They never wait on just one outcome. You never ever ever wait on one outcome. There are scenarios where you know this is it, but what if it's not? So don't wait. Your confidence pipeline should include something like this. You have about 5 to 10 active jobs application that has been tailored, that is aligned and is right. I mean 5 to 10 active jobs that you're following through it. Secondly, confidence pipeline should have like a 2 to 3 networking conversation that is currently in progress. Someone who is responding to you, telling you, okay, I'm looking at your CV, I'm willing to refer. Let me get back to you on this and all that kind of stuff. 2 to 3, 2 to 3, 5 to 10, 2 to 3, and then one weekly LinkedIn post. And begging us to not give up on that. Publicly share your journey. Share it in a way that doesn't make you look like a community project, but more of carrying people along, letting people remember you so that whenever your skill set happens, you're there. And also one skill or project that you're working on currently, right? You need to show one skill just to stay sharp, that you're on top of your game. So that's one thing that the confidence pipeline looks like. This means that even if one door closes, 5 more are already halfway open. Do you get it? Are you deep in it? So you're creating momentum. Don't just wait. Hope is not a strategy. You need to edge your bets. Please. Yeah. Reframe rejection as feedback. Don't let them now make you stay in a bubble of depression, sadness, and all of that. Don't fight it with all of your might. Fight it. One of you guys are on vacation, and I'm like, awesome. But when you're back from this vacation, you know who I'm talking to. You better come back with a not fire to go through this and get that role that you deserve. So some of the question you ask yourself is, did you tailor the CV well enough? Like I said earlier, most of the CV are well tailored. I've taught you as well to also tailor certain CVs to match certain jobs. Your keywords are very important. Also, did you follow up with the hiring manager? Don't be shy. Send a mail. Hi, Lisbeth. I just wanted to find out what is the update regarding this. Am I still in the race? Am I not? Fire on. Was this the right fit, or am I just stretching too far or not far enough? Imagine me applying for a CTO role. See, don't try me. I apply for things that normally I'm like, this is not this is not a stretch, right? But when those stretches come back and say, oh, sorry, we can't take it, I'm like, of course, yeah, I'm still growing into that. So you need to understand that there are certain roles that are stretched, but that doesn't mean that all roles are stretched for you. Let them say no first. So you need to use the rejection as a mirror, not a label. Don't label yourself. Don't say I've been rejected 10 times. Just use it as a mirror to reflect, use it as a mirror to refine, and then re-enter stronger. Anyways, the final way is to let's talk about this week's assignment. You already know how the drill is, what we do, how it goes about. Yesterday we had a session. Today I'm going to be talking about the assignment that we expected to go through this week. So choose one story of rejection. I think I said this earlier, that you needed to choose a story of rejection, something that didn't go out rightly or go well as you expected, or a story of silence, and then write out a short reflection. Just think about it. What happened? How did that make you feel? And what exactly did you learn? And guess what? You can share it on LinkedIn. Listen to this. Not as a pity post, but a power post. Think about it. How does this move me closer to getting a new role? Or how the, this post, you might be thinking, oh, how would they relate to it? I'm telling you, because most people, if not everyone on LinkedIn, has experienced a form of rejection or not. So it's very relatable. People would empathize with you, understand what you're doing, and they will be on the outlook for roles that look like what you're asking for. So use the power of social media, use the power of community, and don't forget to use the hashtag, of course, hashtag 100 women of color in jobs, hashtag 100 women of color, and tag myself, tag your buddy, tag other community members as you please. And then do not forget to update your job tracker. I'm expecting Beatrice to be on your next, but personally, I always say you are all adults and no one should chase you. So please update your job tracker. Let's see how it's going. Let's also be able to, feedback on what's going on. And feel free to send a message. I'm always just a message away. And remember that rejected application does not mean anything. At times when you follow up, they'll ask, oh, so what are the lessons in here? Sometimes it opens up, you never can tell. Just make sure that you have your job tracker showing us what the rejected applications are. Also, make sure your job tracker is also telling us what are the follow-ups that you've also made. Also, the job tracker should be telling us the conversations that are happening, whether they're happening on LinkedIn, whether they're happening in person, whatever. If it's in person, the good the merrier, right? You're taking a picture, sharing your learnings and all that. Also, let the job tracker also show us what exactly is your new learnings. What have you learned from this process? What are the goals that you've set for yourself? I just feel very led to tell you this, that one day very soon you're going to look back and you're going to remember how very uncertain you were, not knowing that you were just about maybe a few days to your yes, a week to your yes, like you were really really close. And I'm hoping that you keep pushing, you don't give up, and you ensure that you keep the momentum burning, right? Post your reflection, speak up, don't be shy, ask questions. If you're feeling a certain way, talk to us on the channel. We'll speak back, would understand, would encourage you in our private sessions, but don't give up. All right. So yeah, that's where I'm going to end. This is about honesty. This is about action. This is about not letting the rejection redefine you. And then with all my, what would I say now? With all my love and care, see you again next week, where we most likely will be talking about negotiation, salary, and yada yada. But you have to wait till next week to find out. Hopefully, I don't change the trajectory of that. So, yeah, see you. Take care and bye.